Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of This Call May Be Recorded. I am your host, Zach Garside. This is the show where we listen to your recorded CSR phone calls and coach them up. Let me turn on my light here a little bit. It's looking a little dark. It's a little better. So, folks, every week we start this show off with a rant of epic proportions, a rant about the status of the home services industry, in particular about customer service within the industry. Brigham, the founder of Power Selling Pros, has been doing ride-alongs with technicians lately. He's gone out and he's been visiting a company in Salt Lake City every week, doing their meetings with them, going out and riding with the technicians to the customer's home. And there's one thing that plagues these technicians, that I imagine plagues technicians all over the industry, CSRs all over the industry, and that is the fear of what the customer might do when you tell them the price. So often, we have our pricing, we have what we can offer the customer, but we're afraid to tell the customer what that price is or what it is we can do for them because we think it'll be too much for them. It'll be too expensive. They will say no. They will tell us it's out of their budget. We would never pay that ourselves. Why would the customer? This happens all the time. Just this week, Brigham was at a home with a technician where the customer needed some work done. And the technician, upon presenting the options to the customer, rather than give the price that he knew, he said, I'll need to talk to my boss and email you some pricing later today. Missed opportunity. A missed opportunity because you could have had a great conversation with that customer there in person, but instead you put off the great conversation. You delayed it because you were afraid of it. What you need to do is simply present the customer with the best option you have and let them make a choice for themselves. If they have a concern, they will tell you. They will let you know it's too much or it's more than they were expecting at least. And then you can tell them, well, would you mind if I go out to my truck for just a few minutes to talk with my boss about this? See if we can bundle some options together to make it more affordable for you. The point is, don't run away from the conversation with the customer. Don't run away from talking about the price with them. Don't run away from talking about the value that you can create for them just because you wouldn't pay it or you think it's too much. You are not the customer. You are there to serve the customer, to give them their options. When I go to the doctor's office, if the doctor sees that I have a problem, something that needs to be addressed, the doctors don't shy away from telling me what I need done because the price. They tell me this is what needs to happen. They focus on value. They focus on how it's going to benefit, potentially even save my life. It's the same attitude we must have with our customers. Lean into the conversation and present the customer with the options despite your fears of what they might say, because you don't know what they will say. You're only afraid of what they might say. That's point number one. Point number two, the power of conversation is making itself more and more prevalent every single day in our industry. When we listen to phone calls here on this show, if you go back and look at the previous 45 episodes of This Call May Be Recorded, you will find that the best phone calls we listen to here are conversations, not transactions. The best phone calls we listen to are filled with question asking, empathizing, rephrasing the other person's words back to them. They're about creating a level of understanding and building a relationship with the customer where they can feel confident working with you. Everything revolves around the conversations that we have. On the phone, do you wow them in your conversation? In the customer's home, are you having conversations with them about the options that you have and the pricing and all the solutions available? Or are we treating it like it's a mere transaction? Are we telling them we'll email it to them later, or I don't have anything available today, or it's going to be $89 for us to come out, and then hang up the phone when they say, no, thanks, I'll call you back. The fact is, you will never reach your full potential as a service business, as a salesperson, as a CSR, if you don't learn the art of conversation. Why? Why is this so important now? Why is it that for so many years, maybe you could have gotten away with not learning the art of conversation and all you needed to do was present the basic transactional details? Why now? Why like this? Because it's 2022, folks. Technology is advancing at a rapid pace. It always has been, but the pace only increases with time. The rise of tools like artificial intelligence, online scheduling engines, chatbots, you name it. The customer has options. They have options that don't involve talking to you, and yet they still choose to talk to you. They still choose to pick up that phone and have a conversation because that's what they want. We still want, despite the options that are available to us, we still want to talk to a human being, be treated like a human being, and we want somebody to take ownership of our problem and help us solve it. That's why you need to learn the art of conversation, of listening, empathizing, reassuring the customer you can help, asking great questions, communicating your value in a way that feels personal and relevant. And of course, building loyalty by expressing gratitude and making the customer feel smart, feel appreciated for reaching out to you. It's simple, folks. It's not always easy, but it is simple. You don't need to get a master's degree in communication studies. You don't need to spend $50,000 at some, week-long boot camp training program learning how to dissolve tension and conflict and communicate. You don't have to dive deep into these things like, communication scientists. You need to learn the basic principles, the basic concepts of great communication, of great customer service and conversation, and just practice them again and again and again and again. Those basic principles, there are 8 of them. Be positive. Have an optimistic, hopeful, positive attitude when you engage in conversation. People are repelled by negativity. We flee and run from it. Be positive. Be prepared. Learn what you can about people before you engage in conversation with them. Learn about the services you're offering. Find out what you can first. Be prepared as you enter conversations. Listen. Listen first. Listen all the time. Ask questions. I say this all the time. Ask the 5 W's in a conversation with your customer. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? What's going on? When did you notice this? Where is it located? How long has this been happening for? Care about them is the 4th principle. Show empathy. Help them see that you understand how this is impacting their life. Empathy doesn't need to be a overly mushy, soft, I'm not an empathetic kind of person. I'm not soft like that. That's the feedback that I get a lot from people. I'm not asking you to, pull out the therapist's sofa, invite your customers to lay on it and empathize with them in that manner. I'm asking you to consider, what is the customer thinking right now? What is their internal dialogue? They're probably thinking things like, this sucks. This is frustrating. I hate this. Gosh, this had to happen today. That's what you should say to them. Use the words that they are speaking in their mind, their internal dialogue. That's how you empathize. That's how you connect with the customer. Because when you say what they're probably thinking, then the customer goes, yes, exactly. That is what I am thinking right now. That's how you empathize with customers. You simply imagine what their internal dialogue is, and you use it to communicate your understanding to them. The 5th principle is reassure. Always focus on what you can do. Tell the customer, we can certainly help. You have called the right place. Don't assume just because they called that they know they called the right place. Tell them they did. Let them know you can help, that you're going to make it your top priority to serve them. 6th, ask for their business. Ask them to take action. Ask them to do something. That's how you get them to move forward and make progress. If you listen and care and tell them how great they are for calling you, but you never ask them to book an appointment with you to buy your stuff, your conversations won't go anywhere. Seventh is you have to build value. You have to learn to communicate how what you do helps them. You have to learn to say what you do so well that buying from you becomes a no-brainer. That's what building value is all about. And finally, number 8 is you've got to express sincere gratitude to that customer. You've got to let them know, I'm so thankful that of all the people you could have called, you called us and you gave us the opportunity to help you. Imagine for a moment if every customer conversation you engaged in had positive energy, demonstrated your clear preparation, was filled with listening, empathy, a clear focus on what we can do for them, involved you asking them to take action in simple, easy ways, natural ways. You were able to communicate your values so well that buying from you becomes a no-brainer, and was filled with gratitude. Just those 8 simple principles is all you need to be able to engage in great conversation with your customers. Don't overthink it. Don't make excuses for why you can't do it. Just learn and practice the basic principles of what we call the pattern for excellence. If you're not familiar with the pattern for excellence, you've never heard of it, you've never seen it or been trained on it, I invite you to go to powersellingpros.com, get yourself some free training samples where we actually teach that framework for how to engage in wow conversations with your customers. And we'd be happy to send that over to you. All right. That was a 12-minute rant right there. We got 18 minutes left for today's show, and we are, as usual, going to listen to 4 phone calls. We've got 2 phone calls that are good, 2 phone calls that are not so good. I don't listen to the calls before we play them. I show up here ready to hear them just like you. I asked our quality assurance team at PowerSelling Pros to listen to the calls for me and then send them over edited. While we are listening to the calls, I invite you to hit the comment section and let me know where you're from, what company you're coming at. Let's get to know each other a little bit here. And what are you hearing in these calls? What lessons are you learning? What things could these CSRs be doing better? What are they doing well? What are you impressed by? With all that said, let's play phone call number 1.
It's a great day. Can I put you on a brief hold?
Sure.
Oh, never mind. Someone else got it. How can I help you today?
Yes, we just bought a home, and I was replacing a toilet in our master bath because it was rocking and had a little leak at the bottom. And the flange at the floor flange where it connects to is broken.
Okay. Oh, that's not good.
It's not. The other thing is it's on a concrete slab, and normally I would do it myself if it was a crawl space where I could get underneath there or whatever, but I don't know that I can. And I would love to have somebody come out and take a look at it and give me an estimate what it would cost to just replace that flange.
Okay, yeah, we could definitely do that. When would you like somebody out?
As soon as.
Okay, you'll notice that she's doing the things that we talked about here a second ago with the pattern for excellence. Positive attitude. She laughs a little bit at the beginning, demonstrates clear preparation. She knows how to help this guy. She listens by asking about the problem, says, oh, that's not good. That's a way to show empathy, and reassures him, yeah, we can definitely help. She's even on the 6th principle here, which is ask for the business. She says, when would you like us to come out? We're making progress. Notice how beautiful this is. She is simultaneously building a relationship with the customer and moving him toward the eventual goal of booking an appointment. Powerful stuff there if you follow these 8 principles. Let's keep going.
Possible. I'm looking, I mean, we assumed we would just pop the toilet in and we'd be ready to start moving in.
Oh, okay. So let me
we would need this.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know how soon you could have somebody out here.
Okay, yeah. Let me get some information from you, and then I can look at the schedule, see what we have available.
Okay, that's perfect.
What was your first and last name? Okay.
You're going to edit that out.
All right. And the address?
That's in.
Okay. All right. And what would be a good phone number for you? Okay. All right. And also, we usually send copies of invoices through email. Do you have an email address?
I do. It's
Okay. All right.
Nice.
now,
This
am I
is-
going to get a free estimate?
This
or
is
this
super
gonna cost me-
efficient. She's very, very efficient in handling this call. Good customer service, empathizes, reassures, asks when. She's gathering his information now. The next thing that she needs to do after she books this call and gets his info is she needs to build value. She needs to communicate to the customer how this is going to benefit his life, what value he's going to receive from the company. Let's hear how she does that.
You just have somebody come out.
I can get the estimator out there to look at what all's going on and give you an estimate on how much that would cost. So, trying to see here. I could probably get him out there later on today if that would work for you.
Later on when?
Later on today.
Okay.
Would like between 3 and 5 be okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I will get it on the schedule and we'll get him out there to look at what all's going on and give you an estimate on how much that would cost for you.
No problem.
All right. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. In the comment section, please tell me what you heard there. While you're doing that, I mentioned that the thing we needed to hear at the end there was, how is she going to build value? How is she going to communicate the value that the company can provide in a way that feels personal and relevant and exciting? She didn't really do that. She said, he'll come out there and give you a price. So right now, the customer he's probably pretty happy that he got the appointment set up. She was kind, she was a good listener, but I don't imagine he's thrilled or excited about the visit. There's a difference between, looking forward to having him come out, and I'm excited to have him come out. I am excited for this experience and for the service I'm going to receive. Not getting that vibe based on her description of him coming out to give an estimate. A better way to do that, let's see, Barbara said she fell flat and didn't wow. Yeah, it was like we were making slow, steady progress, right? Pretty good call. And then it just sort of flattened out and went down at the last 60 seconds there. To prevent that from happening, what you want to do is communicate to the customer what they're going to experience in the home. Not just what's he gonna do, right? He's gonna come out and give you an estimate, but what are you going to experience? I've seen this, it's called the empathy test. The empathy test is when you are talking about your services, how often do you use the word you, referring to the customer? You could say, we are going to come out there with a fully stocked truck. We're going to do a thorough inspection. We're going to give you pricing. That's about us, right? Or you could say, you're in very good hands, Mr. Jones. You're going to see one of our licensed technicians pull up in a fully stocked truck. He'll park in front of your home and walk up to the door, explain why he's there, what he's there to do. And then you'll have the opportunity to show him where the issue is. You notice how I'm reframing the whole scene in terms of the customer's experience, not our service. So I can let them know what they get, what they receive, what they experience. It's a shift. If I was to talk about this in levels, the basic level is you just tell them the price. Okay, that's level one. Level two would be you tell them that he's going to give you an estimate, right? That he's going to some high level one sentence overview of what he's going to do. Level three would be you describe what he's going to do in great detail. And level four would be you describe what the customer is going to experience. You describe it from their point of view. It takes a lot of skill to be able to do that, but highly worthwhile, because the more you can talk about the customer, use words like you say the customer's name, describe things from their viewpoint, the more they feel like you understand them. And customers do not buy from the best companies. They buy from the companies who understand them best. Let's go to call number 2. It was good. Yes, it was good.
Great, Dave. This is, how may I help you?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, I've got a clogged drain. I've seen if you guys could come out.
Clogged drain.
What's going on? Where are you located?
Where are you located?
And when was it that you were wanting somebody out?
Right into the transaction.
Are you guys 24 hours or how does that work?
Yeah, we are. I just didn't know if you wanted us out today or tomorrow.
Oh, you can do it tonight. Absolutely.
Okay. Just 1 second. Let me get some more information from you. Have we ever been to your house before?
No.
Okay. And you said it's a clogged drain. What's going on?
Let me start over here. I'm at my mom's rental house. I live here on the property too.
Mhm.
He washing dishes and it started backing up in the stand-up shower and the bathroom sink.
Okay.
So I would
it's
say-
probably a clogged main line.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the address? Say that again for me. All right. What? And it's what? Okay.
All right. There are 4 words that I use on this show every week to describe what we want to do, what we want to make the phone call. I need someone who has watched before to tell me in the comments what are the 4 words that we are striving for on every single phone call. Usually there's a slight delay between, hey, there we go. We got 2 people. It's got to be, Allison says it, more than a transaction. Barbara, you as well. It's got to be more than a transaction, folks. This call is purely transactional. That's it. Purely transactional. Where are you located? What is the issue? Okay, let's get your address. Let's get your phone number. Let me look at the schedule. Purely transactional. A robot could do it, and faster. A robot could do it much faster than this. We're 1 minute and 32 seconds into the call, and this call appears to go about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Again, a robot could do this quicker. Don't let a robot beat you. You got to make it more than a transaction. You have to make it more than a transaction. Eventually, customers will realize, yeah, the difference between the bot online or the form or the scheduling widget is no different than the phone call experience. So I'm just gonna go with the automated option. As a perfect example of this, I use Geico for my insurance, and Geico has made the online experience of adjusting your, adjusting your plans and your pricing and your vehicles that are on your insurance plan. They've made the app experience so effortless. I don't even think about calling a person anymore. Like, never even crosses my mind to call a human being. I don't need to. I don't want to, because the tech is so good. And they don't make it easy to call, quite frankly. I think they want you to do it online. But in our industry, picking up the phone and calling a customer service representative is still option number 1. That's still the best option. That's still the most frequent, most common option. And so, again, with the customer giving us this opportunity, with them calling to have a conversation with us, we've got to make it worth it for them. We have to make it worthwhile that they called to talk to us, as opposed to going to Amazon Home Services and requesting a quote, or going to the schedule widget on your website and just filling it out without talking to anyone. They're still calling. They're still wanting to have that conversation. After all, you're coming to their home. You're coming to the most important place on earth for them. They need to know that the person who's coming is positive, is prepared, is good at listening, can be trusted. So that call needs to be, but is not yet, more than a transaction. All right, let's go to the next call.
Thank you for calling. This is how can I help you?
Nice greeting.
Hey,
Good energy.
my name is, we have a contract with you, and we want to do the upstairs unit, the heating unit this year. We want to do the heating unit this year. We did the air conditioning unit a number of years ago, and you're gonna have to send somebody out to give us an estimate on the heating unit upstairs. We have a heating unit downstairs. We're going to have the heating unit downstairs checked this year, but we want the heating unit upstairs replaced this year.
All right. Let me go ahead and pull up your information here. Can you spell that address for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So I like this guy's energy. I feel like he's positive. He sounds like he's prepared to help the customer, doing a pretty good job listening. But before you say, well, let's get some information, what's your address? Just really quickly validate the customer and everything that they've told you. As a customer, it's frustrating to spend 1 minute, maybe not quite a minute, but to spend 20 or 30 seconds explaining what you're going through. But then to have the person on the other end simply move on to the logistics. Validate me a little bit. Reassure me that you understand what I said. Tell it back to me in your own words. Do you really get it? Do you understand what's happening and how it's impacting my life? I need to know that before I'm going to trust you with my business. But if I explain myself for 2 minutes and you go right into, all right, well, let's get some information from you. What's your address? How do I know you even know what I'm going through? How do I know you're even listening to me? Again, why did I call to talk to you if you were just going to go right into the logistics and booking the call? Why did I not just use the bot online or use the schedule form? Let's keep going though.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I can definitely help you out with that, and I can definitely
like
get
that.
you
We can
on the schedule to have
definitely
someone
help.
out to go ahead and see what you would need for that upstairs heating unit to get that replaced. Let me go ahead and pull up the calendar here and let me see what is available. Do you have any specific day that would work best for you?
All right, so this is pretty good, right? Telling him, again, I love we can definitely help. We can certainly do this for you. That's important to me. But again, just validate the customer's concern. Let them know you understand what's going on, that you've heard them, restate it back to them in your own words. Show them you're really listening and that you know what is going on and how it's affecting them. They need to know that if they're going to fully trust you. If you only book the call and focus on the logistics, they might book with you. But when they hang up, they're not going to be completely loyal yet. They're still waiting for someone from your company to show them empathy. They're still waiting for someone to communicate, we get it. We understand you. We know what you're going through and we can help. That's a very different experience than what's your address, where you're located. I can definitely get someone out there. You need to follow the pattern for excellence to create the wow experience. With that, this is how we're going to end today, folks. I've talked about the pattern for excellence here, but I just want to show it to you really quickly so you know what we're talking about. This is the framework. This is the flow. It's a framework for best practices and phenomenal customer service, communication, conversation. It's how to win more moments with people. Positivity is where it all begins. Preparation inspires confidence. And when you show up with confidence, you share that confidence with other people. Listening, building an understanding and creating a connection with the customer comes next. Empathizing with them comes fourth. Reassuring them you can help. They have called the right place. Asking for their business to encourage them to take action. Creating value. Explaining to them how this service benefits them so well that buying from you becomes a no-brainer. And then lastly, showing your gratitude. This is how you win more moments with people. To win more moments is to do what is right over what is easy and what is best for all, what's best for only yourself. That's what this equips you to do. As a result, you will become more confident, self-reliant, and service-minded. I promise. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 46 of This Call May Be Recorded. Again, I'm Zach Garside. If you haven't already, please go to powersellingpros.com. Get yourself some free training samples. You can get 17 free training videos. When you go there, put your email address in. You'll also get updates on future episodes of the show so that you don't miss any of these breakdowns. The best way to learn how to provide great customer service is to witness great customer service. And that's what we're doing here every week. We will see you next week for episode 47 of This Call May Be Recorded. Thanks so much, everyone.